ecotourism to me is a willingness to see beyond the sea, sun, and sand destinations of this world and really delve into the local culture as well as visiting environments and nature that you want to appreciate. And I think that ecotourists are people who want to visit the local people and see the local culture and see how people live, as well as support the local people in their businesses and endeavors.
Hey there, Kyle Casey here, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about ecotourism. I'm sure you're familiar with tourism. You've got the Eiffel Tower, the Statue of Liberty, Walt Disney World. Those are pretty common ideas of what the tourism industry is, just fun attractions, water parks, all that stuff. But what exactly is ecotourism? What changes tourism when you put the word eco in front of it? Well, eco comes from the word ecology, and when you're thinking about ecology, think about the environment. So you've got ecology tourism, or ecology sound tourism. You're using these ecological principles that are really sound, and so we try to figure out what exactly ecotourism is. Well, tourism involves travel, so ecotourism involves travel, but there's a difference. You want to do it responsibly. So you want responsible travel when you go to natural areas. So that means you're going to go somewhere such as a state park, like Hocking Hill State Park, where we are currently located near. And you can't just go there and pull up on the side of the road and park in the grass. You could destroy an ovenbird nest, which nests on the ground, or you could run over a pretty trillium flower, which is a really pretty flower. These are things that people come to see. Probably why you're coming here to see it. Especially all the caves. And you don't want all these sides to get eroded either. So you have to do this responsibly. So there's parking lots, and then from the parking lots we have trails set up. So you don't just wander off into the woods, because the same thing could happen. You could hurt the environment, and there's a lot of cliffs out here. You could actually hurt yourself pretty bad out here too. So it's just responsible travel. You don't want to go somewhere and just destroy it. You want to go there and make sure you have as little impact as possible on it. And they are natural areas, so like the woods or waterfronts, places like that, not necessarily Walt Disney World. These are not man-made places. These are places that are created by nature. And you want to conserve the environment and sustain the well-being of the people living there. So when you go there, you become an ecotourist. You are going to these ecotourism locations and spending your money. You're coming on vacation there, and you are adding into the economy of the local community. So that is helping the well-being of the people that live there, the local population. And the money that you spend there goes back into the population, which will inevitably go back into preserving and conserving the natural resources that you come to see. So you are preserving all of it. And there is another aspect of ecotourism that you can't forget about. Almost every single part of an ecotourism industry involves some sort of education, and that could be through interpretation, physically, or just signage, but there's always an interpretation aspect to there. So whether it's talking about the settlers that would mine saltpeter from Ash Cave, which is part of the Hocking Hill State Park, or from different Native American tribes that used to live here. There was numerous of them. You could be talking about the geology of the place, how we used to be a shallow sea, the glaciers pushing Canada up, and all the fun species that you see in the area, like the hemlocks and you could be talking about anything. You could talk about the wildlife that live here. Barred owl, great horned owl. You could talk about what used to be here, like the elk. You could talk about the mammoths that used to be here, and possibly the saber cats and dire wolves. You could talk about who's here now, the kind of area that you're in. You just talk about everything. It's the cultural history of the place, and the cultural history can span as far back as 4 billion years all the way to present times in the current living conditions. It can involve wildlife. It could involve different types of natural resources. Like, you could talk about the effects of Fracking. You could talk about different effects on mining practices and just everything. The education aspect is very, very wide, but it's always included when you're talking about ecotourism. When someone comes there and becomes an ecotourist, they are helping to prolong the lifespan of the place they're going. So that's a little bit about it. So when you go to these state parks, national parks, uh, county parks, and you're spending your money on the areas that are around there, like a general store or a cabin or a souvenir shop to remember your time, you are becoming an ecotourist. You are helping promote this growing industry, and you're just helping do something good. You learn something, and you just help the world become a better place. So, ecotourism is the future. So, thank you, says the coyotes. Canis latrans. I might be mispronouncing it, but there you go. There's a little bit of education for you. Scientific name.
Ecotourism is responsible travel that promotes education, sustainability, and respecting the natural environment. And ecotourists are divided into two main parts. You have your soft and hard tourists, and that just is classified on what type of activities you participate in. So soft ecotourists are they care about the environment. They usually do things in their convenience. Nothing really physically demanding, just maybe going on a nature walk, enjoying the environment, but not really doing anything to protect it. But then you have your hard ecotourists that actually really care and really are involved in the environment. So they work on conservation, they do the more physically demanding, so maybe expeditions in the wilderness, whitewater raft. Tourists are basically tourists that travel to natural areas that want to be involved into the environment, and yeah.